Hey folks, it's Frithgar here, how you doing? Welcome back to Farming Simulator 19 here on the Hagenstedt map. Let's get back to reliving the glory days. Let's go and move you down. So we got to make sure, we got to just, angle the wheels. We'll do one pass around the outside edge and then the hired help will finish off the rest of them. We got a decent crop this time as well. Like the last time, I don't think we had as decent a crop on this. So I want to lower that one down like that. Move. Oops. If you press, it's the mouse button. That's why I'm sort of swirling around it. Because if it's not quite lowered down properly before you start trying to turn it, then you just move your mouse around because it doesn't actually register anything else. So we'll do this little bit where it kicks it in. I love this. I cannot emphasize it enough how awesome it is kicking it in from the edge like this. It is such an amazing, awesome thing. Because, like, the amount I've done a lot of hay in real life, and having that hay being kicked out onto the edge of the field when you're working is just a nuisance. It is an absolute pain all the time. And so you got this, and it's avoiding that perilous, horrible thing where it kicks it out into the sides, right off the edges, and it's amazing. It's genuinely, absolutely fantastic. It really is. It makes such a difference to everything. So all I need to do now is, well, actually, I can just lift it up like that, but a double tap would also suffice. And I'm going to bring you over here like that, and hired help can go and do the rest of that without any problems at all. And then I can move over here. So you're doing fine. You I don't need to worry about. You are just running to the end of the row. So again, this is the one that we got to keep moving. We want to go and get the cultivator onto this one now. So just finish up that little bit right there. Perfect. Excellent. Thank you. Let's go. That truck is there ready and raring to go as well. We're going to go and take that one off to the restaurant, I think that one's going, and sell the canola that we got in here. I've flicked through it a number of times now, but I'm not sure how much we've got on board. So I want to get a cultivator on next. We'll put that one right in there like that and unhitch, and then I can go and get our small cultivator over here. There's no point, I don't think, upgrading cultivators yet until I've got bigger tractors. The drills now, they're fine, but it's these two tractors that we're going to want to upgrade before we start worrying about sort of a bigger cultivator set and stuff like that. So you can go, you know what? I'm going to leave these two fields down here for the other tractor to deal with, and this one's going to go up to the top, and we're going to start working on the fields up the top. And I'm kind of hoping that I might be able to do these fields up here without having to do anything along the top or bottom ends of the field. I'm just going to bring you back down here. It's only this side that is potentially going to be the worst of the lot. So if I just put you in like that and let you go, I need to... That tractor I've got to drive to the shop. But before I do that, let me just back this one down the hill a little bit. So he's just out of the way of the cultivator when he comes back round. You are just about finished. Right, we've got to go and get the rake. We need that rake next. So let's go to you. Unhitch that one, and I need to drive down to the shop. I could teleport to the shop very quickly, but there's little point considering the shop is pretty much right next door. So it was, is it 10,500 if I was to sell direct? And now we've moved it to the shop, and now we're driving to the shop to go and just put it onto the bit over here. I mean, yeah, we're delivering it to the shop. I'm not having someone else deliver it here, and then I'm having to come down and do the rest of it. It doesn't work like that. So how much was it again? I want to go into the garage, and it's there. 10,587 they're offering me there. So if I bring you in over here like this, and we dump that down there like that, come out, and what have you got? So we'll run a repair 12,700 So we get 2,000 euros extra on top of what we would have had, which, to be honest, I think is pretty good. That's not bad at all, really. We want windrowers right here. So we had that one right there. I've got this one in the Alpine series that I'm running. There is that one there. It's another Alpine series. So this one we're using in the hardcore series. 18,500 there for 5.9 meters. And then we got that one for the Caverna stuff, just 12.5 meters, a 52,000 euro machine. I'm not doing that. Oh, we have got that Merge Max there by Stevie. We've got that Kuhn there by Stevie as well, but I don't need the Stevie ones because we've got our own speed modification. So that one there, I think, is actually perfect for what we want. I'm not going to use the Merge Max in this series, I don't think. This one here is the perfect one for what we want, which is there, and that will go 25 kilometers an hour. So I'm going to buy that one for 30,000 euros. A little bit pricey. 18,000 more than what we would have paid previously. There's another 700. Unfortunately, it does overlap the cost of new vehicles and the cost of the delivery charge, so you can't quite see it, but it looked like it was saying 750 euros for the delivery charge, so it's not too bad. Which means that we spent an additional 18,000 euros to upgrade our rake this time round. Yes, that's eating into the money that we want to be saving for paying off our loan, but we've got a big chunk of money available to go and do that very task, so I'm not too concerned about that. You know what? Oh no, if I reset, it's going to reset it though. I was thinking I could just go and reset the tractor that we've got up at the cattle yard, but it doesn't reset it here to the yard down here. It resets it up to, resets it over at the shop. So I suppose really if I was going to do a reset, I should have reset that one and then used it to sell and then driven up, picked this one up and drove back. Because this one I've got to go both ways with. Oh, never mind. No great hardship. And I can set the rate going. I'm going to do... I was just wondering how I should do this. Whether I should, like, do the outside rounds and then get the forage wagon and start gathering that, like, gather up the outside round of the hay and then go and do the rest. I'm not going to be doing it manually. Gonna do it, let the hired help go and do it. So I'm gonna, like, either I need to gather up the outside, because the problem with raking is if you have the hired help doing the job, if you do the outside round first, then the hired help comes along and it gathers up the outside round and sort of incorporates it. And it's a little bit of a nuisance when it does that. You don't really want it doing that. It sort of gets in the way of things. But I mean, I would probably be alright to, if I do a top part and bottom part of that field, I think it would be alright to then just go and do all of the rest of it with the hired help. So I don't think it's going to affect anything at all. So I'm going to leave that one right there. And we're going to, well, actually I'm not going to do anything else. I'm just going to park that tractor there for a second. And this tractor down here, I finished doing this job, so we can start folding you up, putting you away. We go and put the rake, the tedder. This can go and be put away back behind the cattle yard, ready for our next haymaking session, and we will get that rake on. So I'll just set that one going in this field right here. I want to get the canola sold. It's kind of like the next thing that I want to do. I'd really like to get that canola sold rapidly as I possibly can. So let's bring you back over to there like that. I got 2 Profi CVT. That is the cultivators working in the field. There isn't anything else at the moment that is going to need hired help. So those 2 are the priority. We want to keep those running. These down here, like this job out here, it is something that we do want to do it, but it's not a priority like running the other 2 over there. Now, the only problem we're going to have with this rake is at this top end of the field. Bottom end of the field I don't think is going to be any trouble. If I had the forage wagon up here, I could sort of do things with, like, just use the forage wagon to tidy things up a bit, but I don't have it up here, so we're just going to have to let that one carry on and hope that it doesn't make too much of a mess at the ends of the fields. You're fine. You're fine up here as well. There's no problems with it reaching the ends of the fields right there. This one has got 124,158 litres, and I am wanting to take it to the restaurant, I believe. That's 161... Oh, no, sorry, 217. It's reached 217, it's stopped for the hay, so that's where we'll be selling that. And you are 2,302 at the restaurant. The restaurant is the bit all the way down over there. So we are going to go from here. We're going to go out. We're going to go this way. Along there, out around that way. Cut through the milk production area. I suppose we could take the scenic route. Let's try that. Let's try taking a bit more of a scenic route, because we haven't really done that before. So we will just whiz in onto the field over here. Yeah, I've not really done much in the way of scenic routes with this one yet. Be nice change to go and have a little bit of a look round. Some cretin came along and went and ploughed up the road through here that we would otherwise have taken. I don't know who went and done that. No thought or consideration given to anybody working in the area, but how am I supposed to get through there now? Like, seriously, what is going on with this place? You cannot get the staff these days. The city planners, that none of them seem to know their knees from their elbows. Yes, I know that there is another version of that saying that is actually the version that I would normally use, but that's not really something I can say here. So you all know what it is that I'm saying. Anybody who's ever been to school of any kind knows what I'm saying, so we don't need to dwell on it too much, do we? Now. There's actually... You know, you could have stopped, like, a little bit further back, and then that wouldn't have been an issue, would it? Oh, well. That's your car, not my truck. My truck can survive things like that. Your car, possibly not so much. Oh, that's brilliant. Right. See, there's a lot of traffic up here, considering this road is quite a... Why is there a cement... There's a lot of cement lorries around here. I'm pretty sure there is a large building... program going on somewhere, but quite where it is, I've never been able to fathom. I've never been able to find it. It just doesn't exist. So somewhere there is a large amount of building work going on, but we don't know where it is. It's one of the great mysteries of Hagenstedt, is nobody knows where all these cement lorries actually go. There is a rumor going around that they're employed by a building union that is sort of taking money under the table to make it look like the builders have got more work than they actually do, so they can keep the prices up, because, oh, you know, the builders are in high demand. We've got all these jobs going. You see all the cement lorries coming around, so that means that the builders get paid more money. And the actual fact is there's hardly any work at all, so that's why we've... You know, the prices are all up. But if this consortium weren't involved, the builders in this area would be paid about a quarter of what they're currently paid, and a lot of them would go out of business, and then they would find other work instead. But yeah, that's not currently happening. Right. So one of the cultivators has actually finished. So I'm not going to sell this just yet. I'm going to skip over very, very quickly to that cultivator in question. This does actually seem to be working all right here. That does actually seem to be working all right. So we're going to go over to you. Why have you got there and stopped? What a really peculiar thing to go and do. Get to that point right there and then stop. It did fine on that top end of the field there. I am going to want to do a bit of a pass down here. I don't know what it's going to be like down the other end of the field. This end up here... It's only in this corner that it's a little bit difficult for it, so we just come out here like that, and it's the same down the other end as well. Like, it's not brilliant down there. So I'll bring that in round like that and kind of get things lined up and straightened up there. Send the hired help, and I'll tidy up the bottom corner later on if that's what I need to do. You're fine. You can keep going. I'm not going to get involved with you. The raking is finished on one of the fields. I'm going to tip this out right here. So we're on 181,255. What are we getting? What was the price? I can't remember now. It is 2,302. We got 120,000 right here. So we are going to get at least 260,000 euros plus the 260, 285,000 euros. We have 465,000 euros to our name right now. Oh, wait, no, it's backspace. You press backspace to do that. Right, so let me do this a minute. Loan paid off in full. Every single penny has been returned to the bank from whence it came. There is no more, and I'm going to drive this one straight back up to the yard now because we're going to want this one for taking the hay down to the next field. We're then going to go and get our forage wagon up so that we can start doing some stuff with that, because I'm going to manually do the outside round on the second field, and then as soon as I've done that, I'll drive round, gather it all up, and then I'll set the hired help working on the inner parts of the field up there, and we can sort of get all the rest of that hay gathered up. So we want to put some of it is going to go in for the cows, and then the rest of it we're going to bring down and we're going to sell at the barn. If I'm able to gather up 100,000 litres of hay, I don't know how much there will be, but let's just say for argument's sake that there is 100,000 litres. If we sell 100,000 at 200 per 1,000 litres, that's going to be 100 times 200, which is 20 grand. So we get another 20,000 euros, which is not bad. Yeah, it's not the nearly 400... the nearly 300,000 that we just got from the canola. But, I mean, we got big canola fields, so you wouldn't expect it to be on that kind of scale. But it's still a reasonable amount of money going to be coming in. So we'll just stop you there a second, and then we will go... That one can stay where he is. You are actually doing just fine here, so I can let you carry on with that. You are doing just fine over here as well. We got one more field after this one is done, and then we'll have 2 tractors working on planting. And you... I could actually put a planter on this one and get started with that before the other tractors are ready, but I'm not going to. I want to get this done. I want to get this hay done. I want to be able to gather all of that up. So I need to get back to the yard to get my forage wagon and bring that up this way. Yes, I absolutely am taking a shortcut through the recently harvested fields. I see no problem with that, considering that I have done that many, many hundreds of times in real life. So I see no problem with doing it in the game either. There will be people who will tell you that that sort of thing doesn't happen, but trust me, it does. There are shortcuts put across all kinds of harvested fields, and then generally, before the planting is done, when they go through the subsoiler on the tram lines, your shortcuts through fields, you generally stick to the tram. If you're going to shortcut through a field, you would stick to the tram lines. And then you're not adding any additional compaction anywhere that's not already being treated for compaction. The tram lines will be removed in order to take care of the compaction issues on the tram line. So if you're going through there with your machines, that's not going to be any kind of an issue. There is going to be no problems there whatsoever. So I'm going to take you up this way, and I will shortcut up across that field once more. The cultivating is nearly done on that one. So as soon as that cultivating is done, I'll put that tractor there on the bigger field over this side. The other one, when the cultivating is done on that field, that one I will move I'll put the cultivator away and I'll get the seed drill on. We'll make sure that we've got the sunflowers selected on there, and then we can go and get started with that planting job. This one's going to wait on the sidelines right here, just by the bridge. On the bridge, actually. I'm going to park up there, and I'm going to have my coffee on the bridge, just because it's a nice view. And you are going to come out and whiz up to the next fields. A tiny strip there, but we don't need to worry about that. And one round around the outside. The forage wagon will go and gather that up while this fella just parks up on the side and has his cup of coffee. And then he's going to get started with gathering the rest of it up, and the forage wagon will go to work in the smaller field to start with before coming up to this field up here. So just once around, that's all we need to do. We don't need to do anything particularly special here. And then once we've got all of that gathered up and looking neat and tidy, so it'll be interesting to see how much we get just from one pass around the outside. Like, we could have quite a bit more than the 100,000 litres I initially said. We've got... It's almost completely fully fertilised in here. It's not fully fertilised. There was a few tiny bits down this end of the field that only had one coat, full coat of fertiliser. Whereas, I mean, the other one is completely covered. 2 coats of fertiliser across all of it. Helper C has completed their task. That is one of the cultivators. So let me bring you around to there. And you can stop there a second because I need to get that cultivator. There we go. That's all finished. And I have to start on the next one. It's got to keep these cultivators moving. If we don't, we're going to be sat twiddling our thumbs waiting for the planting to finish. And we don't want to be doing that. So we've got to keep these moving. We'll bring you in. Actually, I want to bring you down just a little bit further, just to make sure that we get every single little tiny part of the field. That's looking pretty good there, I think. Maybe overlapping a bit too far now, actually. No, it's not. We smoothed out the edges quite nicely here. I think we did a good job with that. Right. You keep going there. You stay where you are for a minute, and you what I'm after up here. Okay. Let's go and finish this bit. I've only just got to pull up to the end over here, and then I can get that forage wagon going. Do once around the outside. That's going to give us a bit of an indication of how much material we're going to be able to pick up from this field altogether, which is a fair slice. I think it's fair to say that we've got a lot of material in here that we're going to be gathering up. So I'm going to bring you out like that. And I'm going to bring you down over here somewhere so that you're ready to go. You're going to stop about there. Close to the river. It's actually, he's going to get out. He's not going to have his coffee while he's sat in the tractor. He's going to get out and he's going to go for a little bit of a walk to go and have his coffee. This guy's already had his coffee. So let's bring you up here. I know I keep saying guy all the time. It could just as easily be... If I say dude, like in half the world, dude applies to not only men and women together, but also to inanimate objects. Like, dude covers everything. So if I just say dude, then, you know, that's kind of like anyone and everyone rather than guy. Because I do know that it's not just men that work in farming. I've never actually worked with... I've never worked on a farm where another employee at the same level as me was a woman. I've only ever worked with other men, or, you know, some younger lads. But I have had 2 different bosses who were women. So, like, there are plenty of women in agriculture. Admittedly, there aren't as many as there are men. And that's just the way it is. But yeah, so I'm only saying this because, like, I've never actually had anyone say anything or try and get funny with me because I talk about men doing different jobs and not women doing jobs and stuff like that. I did once. Someone was saying something about how, because I was it was in the time-lapse series. And I pointed out that I was teaching Sen how to do something when she was first introduced into the series. Teaching her how to do something in one of the tractors, and someone said that by saying that, I was implying that women can't do these jobs. And all I said was, no. Absolutely not. No way. I'm not even gonna, well, I did originally think, no, I shouldn't bother responding to this, because that's just ridiculous. But then I sort of pointed out, well, you know, the folly of that particular approach. No, I cannot say that I'm teaching Sen, because that means the man is teaching the woman, which means that the woman doesn't know anything about it. Also implies that men are born knowing everything there is to know about operating machinery, which is just unbelievably, ridiculously stupid. And everybody needs to learn somewhere. And I'm the experienced farmhand, the farm owner, and at the time in the story, Sen was coming to work for us and was relatively inexperienced, and therefore it stands to reason that she would need to be taught how to do the different jobs. And so I was at a complete and total loss to understand why that was a problem. I never had any other comments, and I've never had any other comments. The only other comments I've ever had are from people... what was it? I literally just thought of it a second ago. Oh, referring to tractors as she. Like giving tractors a gender. A few people did say something that, you know, I need to come up with some other term rather than he and she. And there were a few people that kind of on the fence on that one. Some agreed, some didn't think it mattered, and so on. So it's sort of interesting to see how these conversations go sometimes. But so I just wanted to sort of point out for the people that... and I know that most of you don't really care, to be honest. You know, you call it what you call it. It's whatever it is. If I'm constantly saying he's stopping for his coffee, well, maybe I've just got a lot of blokes that work for me. But, yeah, right in here. See, now this is the thing. You could have a herd of dairy cows with 200 cows. Beef cows, 200 cows. Sheep, the same. I've worked with a flock of 1,000 sheep, with about 20 rams off in, you know, in another field. And 1,000 sheep, they're all female. I still refer to them all as he. Every single one of them. I always refer to them as he. So it kind of... Just because I'm saying he, that doesn't necessarily have any connection whatsoever to do with who the person is driving the vehicle. Like, if 1,000 female sheep are all he in my vocabulary, along with every single beef and dairy cow I've ever encountered, humans haven't got much hope. That would be about the sum of it, I think, is that humans haven't really got much chance if every other animal I've ever dealt with, and humans are animals, I'm not going to try and say I'm saying otherwise. Of course we're animals. Have you seen some of the things that people do to each other? So, yeah, anyway, that's the whole he and she and so on. That's, generally refer to everything as he. Just about everything. Unfortunately, folks, that is all we have got time for today. A massive thank you to everybody who has earned their way into the Great Book of Names. To find out some more details about all the names coming past, please head into the description and click on the link to the Discord. It's a link to another video. The link is on the other video. Please also consider checking out the links there for Nitrado, who provide gaming servers for games like Farming Simulator, Minecraft, Ark, and several others. And there's also Fanatical, who will help support your gaming habit by providing you with cheap games and also giving me a small commission on anything that you buy using my link. If you've enjoyed this particular video, then please head down below and give us a like. And if you really enjoyed it, then please tell your friends all about me. Get them to come and watch as well. That would be awesome. And until next time, thank you very much for watching. This is Frithgar. Goodbye, and see you later.